KFI AM 640. It's later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and you were listening to Tim Conway Jr. He was giving you the update in regard to the Canyon Fire, which has burned more than some 1,500 acres. We will continue to watch that fire from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Just to let you know, we are on it, and we are monitoring it. And in the next segment, we'll tell you about the latest with LADWP, that service outage, which has impacted so many people. We're watching that story as well. There's a lot going on this day, and you think a fire, it's not a good time to have a fire when you have this heat, or if you have like a water service interruption. It's not a good time to have that when you have this heat, but you know, that's the way it's been going for Southern California as of late, where these things, there's a confluence of things happening at the same time. And sometimes I think LA just can't get a break. But we will be watching those two stories specifically, the Canyon Fire and also LADWP, to see if there are any updates with either or both. Maybe with the Canyon Fire, less so with LADWP. I don't think they're scheduled for another update until tomorrow morning, but we'll get into that. Also, we'll let you know if your car is on the list of the top stolen vehicles. And we know in Southern California, car theft is a thing, and depending on your make and model, you are either more likely or less likely to become a victim. We'll tell you what are the top stolen vehicles in Southern California. And also, LAUSD unveiled its new feature attraction, buses with Wi-Fi. I wish they would have had that when I was growing up. Well, I got a ride to school, but just in general, Wi-Fi would be kind of cool. Have all these devices, and you're sitting on the bus for maybe an hour or so. We'll tell you about that before the end of the hour. And it's Tech Thursday, so you know what that means. The lovely Marsha Collier will be joining us in studio to talk about the latest with privacy and AI, and also what are some of the new Samsung devices which have been revealed at their Unpacked event. Samsung has their event. I know Google's is coming up in the next 2 weeks or so, so we'll learn what possibly is on the docket, as they say, for Google. And remember, or you may not remember, but some weeks ago, we told you how AMC Theaters specifically were going to lengthen their pre-show programming content, where you'd have a trailer, ad, trailer, ad, trailer, and then your movie would begin. And it was adding up to anywhere between 25 and 30 minutes. And we said, ooh, that's not a good idea. We were actually joking around. I was joking with Twala and Mark. Good evening to you both. And we say, like, you might as well just not show up for an extra half hour. Show up a half hour later and miss some of those ads. Or because, yes, it's nice to see some of the up and coming movies in the trailers, but not at the expense of extending your movie time an extra half hour.
Yeah, it sucked.
They should be required to tell you when the movie actually starts.
Right. And I was asking you, Twala, I specifically asked you, okay, so the time that you're going to see a movie is the start of the pre-roll, or is it the start of the movie? And I was joking with Mark Ronner. He was going to a movie which started, quote unquote, at 12:50 a.m. And I think, well, that means it doesn't start till about 1:20, 1:30 in the morning.
I'll be rolling around home at daybreak.
That's exactly what happened when we saw Superman and Fantastic Four too, right?
Yeah.
AMC is rethinking the error of their ways. So they might be going in the other direction. And HBO Max, and this is something I did get wrong. Some people say, Mo, you never admit when you're wrong. I was wrong about this. When Netflix started its password sharing crackdown, I said, that's not going to work. They're probably going to alienate subscribers. They're probably going to lose subscribers and piss them off. It didn't work that way. It turned into a lot of new subscribers and made a lot of money for Netflix. HBO Max said, hey, we could do that too. So HBO Max is set to crack down on password sharing on its platform in the next month. And say goodbye to Hulu. Well, not the service, but the app. The Hulu app is going away, and we'll tell you about that. And it's Thursday, so you know the sex doctor is going to join us, Sam Zia. He's in. I have no idea what he's going to talk about, but we'll probably take it to the hallway at some point. And Uber, we've talked about this, but now it's become a national issue. And if anything, we could almost connect it to the future of autonomous vehicles, robo-taxis. Uber cannot hide the fact that it's been dealing with an internal sexual assault problem, and give a company a reason, excuse, and the ability to get rid of its quote unquote workforce, and they will. This might be the death knell for drivers, rideshare apps, not just Uber, but across the board. We'll get into that. And I'll have my final thought tonight. It has to do with sports and politics, because once again, politics just can't seem to stay out of sports. Every time you turn around, politics is being used, or at least presented as the supposed solution to issues in sports. Seems kind of hypocritical, given that I don't want politics in my sports. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound like Bill Clinton. I am not going to answer that subpoena they sent me this week. Anyhow, how are you doing today, Mark?
I was waiting for you to get a rim shot for that, but Foosh is not with us today.
No, Steph is not working with us today. He had other plans. He had better plans. And the lovely Robin is joining us. Robin, it's been a while since we've worked together. It's good to see you, though. How have you been?
I've been pretty good. I've been doing Gary Enchanted for the most part.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. All right. They're keeping you busy. That's good to know in this business, because if they stop calling, that could be the end. It's always good to be wanted around here, let me tell you.
And I live very close, so.
You can afford to live close to here?
Well, I live in NoHo, but.
That's close enough.
That's close enough.
Yeah,
It's like
close
4
enough.
miles.
I gotta pick up some extra shifts working the board.
Oh, no, I don't know. I got lucky. I feel like the places around me are like at least 400 more.
Okay, let me just get in your business real quick. Is it rent control?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Those are hard to get in. Those are hard to find these days.
Do I have to disappear somebody to
Right.
get on the list for one of those? How's that work exactly?
Well, I mean.
Does
I
there
might
need to be an
a room
accident?
soon.
Admit it, you have the hookup and you don't want to reveal
Okay.
how that deal went down.
Just say,
can-
look, this is my personal business, Mark.
Mhm.
You
Stay
can
out
tell
my
me
business.
off the air. Don't listen to them.
Well, welcome, Robin. It's good to have you back. And hey, Mark, let me just ask you, do you know in advance of your Rana report tomorrow what you might be talking about?
We're shooting for that new horror film called Weapons.
Oh, yeah. Do you have high expectations?
I do. I've heard some good stuff about it, but you never know. Naked Gun got a 90% positive on Rotten Tomatoes, and that was one of the worst things ever made. So it's always a crapshoot, Mo.
Are you going to take Twala with you this time?
I've asked him about 50 times, and
Will you be my date, Twala?
I have denied him 50 times. There's no way in hell I'm going to go see that. And here's the crazy thing. He does not remember when we went to go and see Fantastic Four. For some reason or other, this was one of the trailers that they played in front of it. He did not notice that I not only closed my eyes, but I just put my head down. I didn't want to look. I didn't want anything to do with the trailer.
you'll be okay. I'll be there to protect you.
That's
Nothing's
not
going to
your style of
happen.
movie.
I'm okay. No, I'm okay. I don't do horror, Mark, especially something that has to do with kids disappearing. That's not my swing, though.
I'll hold your hand through the whole movie.
No, you will not.
Will you put your hand on his knee at least? Let him know that you're there.
Mark,
Don't
look,
bring up the
that's-
popcorn bucket thing, okay?
Oh, did you reach it to the popcorn bucket at the same
we
time?
better move on. Never mind.
I was that weird kid that I actually wanted to be on. Like, I wanted to be, the twins from Shining. Except
Yeah,
for
you
I have
are
a
weird.
twin brother, so that wouldn't really work. But I was that weird kid. I wanted to be those kids.
I can see that.
Red Rob.
Not a
Red
stretch.
Rob.
That's weird.
Red Rob.
Very weird.
No, the twins in the hallway didn't say anything.
I know that,
Red
but-
Rum was Danny.
I know that, but people just know. It's the only thing I got from The Shining.
Okay.
Or I'll huff, or I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in.
Here's Johnny.
That's true.
Okay.
It's later with Mo Kelly. We have an LATWP update when we come back. It's later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube. Come on and join the Momigos. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. We're doing something special here with our video simulcast, and we definitely want you to be part of it. The Momigos, the friends of the show who hang out there, and they have their own relationship and their own party. They have their own conversations. We do polls for you to respond to. We'll read some of your comments on the air and interact with you. We're trying to get Mark Ronner to interact with people with the Momigos, but he's kind of elitist.
Well,
So-
it's less that than it is that I'm kind of at a race from the second I sit down here till the minute I leave.
That's true.
There's a great deal to do in the news department here at KFIMO.
There is. You can throw out a comment every hour or so. Let them know that you're alive.
Oh, the pressure.
It is just slight pressure. Turn to the side and cough.
You don't want that. Trust me, you don't want that.
In all seriousness, no, we have to talk about what has been going on in the Granada Hills Porter Ranch area, the water incident. Here is what was happening earlier today, and then I'll give you an update on the notice to boil water.
A long line of cars sit idling on Cessnon Boulevard Thursday morning, waiting for free cases of water.
I was told last night at 9:18 that they closed at 9. So, and they opened at 7, and I'm number 21, and the line is, I can't see the end of the line.
About 9,200 Porter Ranch and Granada Hills residents have been without water since Tuesday. LA Department of Water and Power say a valve that controls the flow of water from a pump station that connects to a 10 million gallon water tank failed to open and water was cut off. The broken valve is more than 20 feet underground. Oil and gas pipelines, a critical fiber optic line, and large boulders have made the excavation process harder.
There's nothing really I can do about it, so, I just go ahead with, anything what I can do to conserve water and just get through this.
The department set up 3 water distribution sites set to reopen at 7 a.m., but delays led to growing frustration.
It's already 7:08 and nobody's here, and they're saying thank you for being patient. I mean, we have to work, we have places to go, we have to attend to our kids. We have to live our normal life, but this is hard to do.
The line of cars finally started moving around 7:30. LADWP says repairs could wrap up as soon as tomorrow.
There you go. No problem. Have a good day.
But it could take several days.
See, that's important. Could take until tomorrow, could take several days. And when you're talking about waters, it's not just drinking, it's showering, it's cooking, it's for pets, all sorts of uses. And this is very important. I want to make sure that this boil water notice is available to you. Of course, it's available on the website, but you should hear it as well. LADWP is asking customers in the Porter Ranch and Granada Hills area who are currently under a boil water notice, which was issued yesterday, not to use the tap water at their homes and businesses to assist with water restoration efforts underway. Again, do not use the tap water at your home or business if you are under currently a boil water notice. And then it goes on, as a result of the broken valve to a large diameter trunk line that supplies water to the area, customers in those communities have either lost water service entirely or have low water pressure at their homes and businesses. As crews make progress toward refilling the water system in the area, customers may experience low water pressure at their tap. We need customers to keep their taps shut and use bottled water for drinking and cooking, which uses to allow the pipes and tanks serving your neighborhoods to refill. So even though you may have low water pressure, that is not a go-ahead for you to use your taps at this time. And this is assuming that you are presently under a boil water notice. Using tap water during these operations will cause a loss of pressure that is critical to restore service. Please turn off sprinklers. Do not use water available at your home or business for irrigating your lawns and gardens, obviously, but someone will probably try to do it. In addition to continuing its bottled water distribution, as you just heard about, LADWP will also deploy 3 water tankers today, as in Thursday, with non-drinking water to the 3 bottled water distribution locations for customers who want to pick up water for non-drinking uses, such as lawns and gardens. Information on these 3 locations are available on the website, ladwp.com. And also, meanwhile, LADWP crews continue to work around the clock on 2 fronts to pump water back to the trunk line to restore water to customers and excavating more than 20 feet below ground to access a 54-inch diameter line supplying water to the area to repair the broken valve. So this information is going to be updated again tomorrow in the morning. I would encourage you to listen to Wake Up Call and also Bill Handel's show. They will probably feature it prominently and quickly so you can get the latest information. And, when they say, it seems like it's all happening at once, where you have the hottest days of the year and then you have these water interruptions. And it's one thing when you have a water interruption, but it's another thing when you don't have any water availability. I think about those who may be elderly. I think about those who may have a disability or limited mobility. It's one thing to say, hey, Twala, can you go run, get some bottled water or something? That's one thing. But if you might be shut in or limited as far as your mobility, it makes it much more difficult to go to a local place where they're handing out water. Or if you need water just so you can bathe or if you can cook, it makes it much more difficult. So even though you may have some water pressure, let me reemphasize, if you are under a boil water notice, LADWP is instructing you to not use the available water at your tap, even though you may have some water pressure, as that may interfere with the complete restoration process.
Yeah, and I didn't see this earlier, and this is right where we're at. This is right where, my co-parents stay.
Yes.
This is where the kids are right in Granada Hills. That's why I'm making sure that I'm texting now to make sure that, hey, this is 6 hours ago.
We have some people who work at KFI who live in the Porter Ranch area.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is literally, like I was in Porter Ranch earlier today at the school working, and then, and I left Granada Hills to go to school. So I'm like, this is right where I'm at. Damn it.
I try to tell people when we talk about, let's say, the fires or we talk about the earthquakes, we're not talking about these things from a distance. When we talk about, let's say, the Hard Summer Music Festival, we're not talking about it as something that is happening over there. We're talking about as people who live in these communities, who have relatives, friends in these communities. And not only are we concerned about the communities, we're concerned about the people that we actually know. And if sometimes it's even us. We're talking to our friends and family, inclusive of you, because it impacts us as well. Sometimes when I talk to people, they sometimes forget. It's like, someone was very complimentary about our fire coverage back in January. And I was telling her, it was a woman, I said, this impacts us. I'm thinking about people who live in these communities that I know personally. What information would they want? Would they need? Can I use this microphone to help someone right where they are? Because I was saying, we have people who work here who live in Porter Ranch.
Yep.
Talk about your co-parent who lives in Granada Hills. This is important. So the last thing I'm going to do is be careless with the information or incomplete with the information, because I know someone can be helped and someone will be helped, more importantly. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. When we come back, we're going to tell you about the top stolen vehicles. Maybe your car is on the list. And yes, we will keep you updated on the Canyon Fire. And also if there's any other information which should be disseminated regarding LADWP and that service outage in the Porter Ranch, Granada Hills area. So just keep it right here. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and also on YouTube. We are going to talk about the most stolen vehicles. And thieves are targeting one type of car above all others in the country. And it's far more frequently stolen than any other make or model. And you're probably wondering, well, is it mine? Should I go out and check on my car? They list 20, but we'll give you the top 10. These are the most stolen cars in America. Mark, you have any predictions before we get going?
Hondas and Toyotas.
Oh, damn. I was going to say Honda, too.
No. Customarily, that's the case. So I think those are great guesses. Twala?
I know for a fact it is not the Ford Bronco Sport.
I'm thinking Kias, because they had that issue with the whole USB thing. They were stealing Kias.
Kia's definitely got to be number one.
That's what I'm thinking. All right, let's see. Coming in at number 10. Dodge Ram 1500 crew cab short wheelbase 4-wheel drive truck, obviously. Coming in at number 9. The most stolen cars in America. Land Rover Range Rover 4-wheel drive.
Really?
Really?
That sounds crazy.
I know. I know. Was that Daniel out there?
Yeah. I think Dan Scott went.
Oh, I guess that's Daniel's car.
Daddy's out there like, no, wait, no.
Wait, hey. Daniel going to stop the simulcast so he can run down into the garage and just check and see if his car is okay. Coming in at number 8 of the most stolen vehicles in America. Dodge Durango 4-wheel drive. So the 4-wheel drive seem to be very, very popular for some reason.
I'm getting a little nervous.
I don't have a 4-wheel drive. Number 7. Chevy Silverado 3500 crew cab 4-wheel drive. Again, now this is America, not Southern California, so it may vary. You know, your mileage may vary, your thefts may vary depending on your location.
Oh, okay.
So, you know.
Okay, I feel a little good.
Yeah, if you think about the totality of America, maybe. Okay. Come in number 6. Most stolen cars in America. GMC Sierra 3500 crew cab 4-wheel drive. Still most basically trucks.
Oh, so this
Truck
might be
frame.
have to do with like a lot of Midwestern
Maybe, yes.
vehicle thievery. Yeah.
Yeah, because this would not be California.
Hell no.
Coming in number 5. Acura TLX 2-wheel drive.
People still drive Acuras.
Look, I see them every now and never. Not often though.
Yeah.
You know, they look like, oh yeah, that's a Honda with a different logo on it. For the most part, I know they're same corporation, but still,
Yeah.
Acura, they just don't have a footprint anymore. Coming in at number 4 of the most stolen cars in America. Oddly enough, no Honda, no Toyota, no Kia. No Kia, never mind. GMC Sierra 2500 crew cab 4-wheel drive. Yeah, this is definitely across America, not Southern California. Coming in at number 3, the most stolen cars at America. Oh, this is definitely across America. Chevy Camaro.
Oh yeah, that's not SoCal.
No.
that's not SoCal.
Chevy Camaro. You'll see them, but they're not like everywhere, not around here.
It's almost like, oh hey, he's got a Camaro.
Camaro's
That's
like, oh yeah, and I think when I see a Camaro, oh, they still make the Camaro.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
It's not hot like it used to be. Sorry,
I don't know about that. Those newer ones are nice.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
but
you're not
still
really into
in the
muscle
US.
cars, though, are you?
No. I am into muscle cars. I'm just very discriminating when it comes to muscle cars, and I don't like the new Corvette body style.
No, I don't like that either. You're right about that.
Right.
But the new Camaros and Chargers are terrific.
I like the
The
Charger.
Charger's nice.
No, the Charger, yes.
But the
Charger,
Camaro,
yeah.
you're not seeing them just out in the streets like that. Not right now.
No,
Out here.
not here. Yeah. Coming in at number 2, the most stolen cars in America or vehicles. The Acura TLX 4-wheel drive. I can't even tell you what that car looks like.
What
I have
is that?
absolutely not. It sounds like if you say 4-wheel drive, it's some sort of truck or SUV.
kind of thing. Okay. All right.
I can't tell you what any of these cars look like.
Well, don't you ride a bike? As in like motorcycle?
Yes.
Are you a Harley woman?
If I could afford it. Yeah.
Stop asking that nice lady about her hog.
Okay. Oh, wow. I was about to say, don't ask her what. Never mind. Never mind. We love you, Robin.
Actually, I've never been on a Harley. I've been on other motorcycles, but not a Harley. I love the sound of a Harley.
They are loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying just like the sound is like, yeah, I dig the sound, but I've never ridden one. Coming in number 1 of the most stolen cars in America. We were thinking Honda, Toyota, or Kia. Let's see if we're right. Chevy Camaro ZL1. I guess that's the souped up version.
This is definitely in the Midwest, like college towns. You
Yeah.
know. Johnny got a new Camaro XYZ STL1. He got it for graduation.
All right, those are a little ridiculous.
Piggly Wiggly with it.
Okay, so the bottom half of that list, we gave you the top 10. Number 11 was Chevy Silverado. Number 12 was Dodge Ram 3500, yada, yada, yada. Number 13, Honda CRV hybrid four-wheel drive. Number 14, the GMC Sierra. 15, Dodge Durango two-wheel drive. 16, GMC Sierra. Number 17, BMW X7 four-wheel drive. That's a large luxury SUV. Number 18, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class long wheelbase four-wheel drive. Number 19, Jeep Gladiator. Oh, yeah. People, they're not stealing Jeep Gladiators out here in Southern California.
Nah.
And number 20 is Cadillac Escalade ESV four-wheel drive.
Still, this sounds like vehicles that are stolen in places where you need to get about the snow.
Right, right. And here are the least frequently stolen vehicles. Very quickly, I'll give you the top 10. No drum roll, just the top 10 least stolen. Number 10, the Subaru Crosstrek. Yeah, because that thing is ugly. Number 9, Volkswagen ID4. We have a friend who has an ID4.
It's a nice looking vehicle.
Yeah. Number 8, Ford Mustang Mach-E. And that is also another electric vehicle. So that probably has something to do with it. Number 7, the Volvo XC40 four-wheel drive. Number 6, the Volvo XC90 four-wheel drive of the least stolen vehicles in America.
Yeah, no one is stealing electric vehicles.
No, they're not. Number 5, the Tesla Model S four-wheel drive. Number 4, the Toyota RAV4 Prime four-wheel drive. That is
the RAV4s?
Yeah, they look.
They don't make RAV4s anymore.
Yes, they do. They do. They kind of look like my car. They do. There are a lot of them out there. Once you see it, like you can't unsee it.
Oh.
They're out. They're everywhere. Number 3, Tesla Model 3 two-wheel drive. Number 2, Tesla Model Y four-wheel drive. And the number 1 least frequently stolen vehicle, Tesla Model 3 four-wheel drive. Yeah. The resale market on parts and whatever for electric vehicles is probably almost non-existent.
So there's like no bikes in this one?
Nope.
Yeah. No one is stealing bikes, Robin.
All right.
Well, I'm quite sure they
definitely not
are.
Los Angeles.
But, not at the rate they're stealing cars. And Mark drives a Mercedes, and I only saw one Mercedes on the list.
Yeah, you know where I work. I can afford a Mercedes. Two of them. I have 2 of them.
Look, I see a lot of people who have an $80,000 to $90,000 Mercedes, and they're living in a one-bedroom apartment.
No, it's weird to me. It's always been weird to me how much people will pay a month for a car.
I don't get it. And look, at $80,000, $90,000 Mercedes, you're going to pay at least $1,000 a month. And I'm not talking about insurance. I'm not talking about maintenance. I'm just talking about the car note itself.
Yeah, or people with those. I like those Jeep Wranglers, but those are insanely expensive. Or is it an insult, by the way, that I wouldn't even steal a Tesla?
No, look, you have to have a place to charge that bad boy.
Yeah, where are you going with your Tesla after a little while? Like, you can find those. And Teslas, one thing about those, they are very easy to find. The Tesla Corporation has tracking and tags.
Yes.
And all that and I only know this because I have a friend, he has a Tesla, and like when he needs to get it repaired, they can activate the self-drive function and activate it and drive it to the dealership.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be in it. They can say, don't worry, we'll bring it in. They know exactly where it's at. They can bring it in and send it back to him.
So anytime there's a recall, which is fairly often, they can just disappear the car.
Yeah, they can disappear the car.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, it's counterintuitive.
Is that stealing, though?
He must spend a lot of time without it.
Not if you give him permission.
No. Hey, and he has been trying to get this one thing fixed since forever. And it's like, he's like so frustrated because he'll spend like 3 hours on the Tesla line, and it's an AI system, Mark.
Of course it is. Of course.
So it really gives him the runaround. But when they sent him a loaner, it's like it pulled up to the car, and it pulled up to his house, and it had all of his exact settings already in the car. The stations, the seating, the AC, everything. He doesn't have to do anything. It's like the program in his Tesla, it just switched over to the loaner Tesla.
Imagine how happy he must have been.
He was ecstatic.
Look, I have been in some Teslas. They are really, really nice. They are some fine automobiles.
Until they aren't.
No, I'm just saying they're fine automobiles. I just refuse to buy one. I just refuse.
I mean, I sat in it with him, the theater in his thing. Like, he puts it on. I'm like, I can see why you go to lunch in this thing. He's like, I'll be back. And he just goes, sits in his car, turns on AC, and watches movies on the big
screen is huge.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's huge.
I just won't be buying one. Not anytime soon.
Not what I'm looking for in a car.
No, what?
Mark.
No, please.
What are you looking for?
You don't have to have
Mark
it drive
wants a
itself.
big rear end on this car.
Well, who doesn't like one of those, huh?
Live everywhere on YouTube. Got to check out the YouTube video simulcast. Like, subscribe, and share. We're live on Facebook and the iHeartRadio app. Have some LAUSD news to share. Yesterday, we talked about all the kids which were going back to school in various school districts. But in LAUSD, they have a new fleet of about 1,000 buses. 1,000. If you didn't know, LAUSD's transportation is one of the largest in the country. And they're highlighting this new fleet, which includes 180 all-electric buses. Some of the buses will run on alternative fuel sources, like probably gas, natural gas, improve seat belts, and Wi-Fi on board all 1,000 buses in the fleet. But if you happen to be a parent, here's what I think is the best part. All the buses have been outfitted with GPS technology that connects to an app, which will allow parents and school officials to track the movements and schedules of each bus. That's kind of cool. That's a good way of utilizing technology. Now, I was a kid, unfortunately, and I do mean unfortunately, my parents taught at every school I attended. So there was no avoiding them. And there was no hanging around after school with my friends or walking to school. They drove me to school.
Or doing drugs.
No, there was no. No, they kept me on a real short leash. They knew my grades before I knew my grades. They would just walk down the hall to the administration building and say, so what are Morris's grades like? How's he doing? Is he turning all of his assignments? There's nothing I could get away with academically. So there was nothing like going by. We had this thing called BLers, behind the library, where people go to smoke cigarettes and weed. But there was none of that going to happen for me. This is impossible. I grew up in a latchkey generation, but I never had a key to my house because they wouldn't have allowed that. Anytime I was going to enter the house, they had to know about it.
That is nightmarish.
Oh, no, it is. It is. And we had issues along the way. Let's put it that way.
You must have acted out in some way.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if they still do it today, but it used to be where you have citizenship grades. You'd have your letter grade, and then you have citizenship grades. It was excellent, satisfactory, unsatisfactory. I would get an A in the class and an unsatisfactory citizenship.
Yeah, I got a couple of those.
Because I was just going to be a smartass. I was mouthing off all the time. And as far as I was concerned, I'm getting the grade, so shut up, Mom, okay?
Wait.
I didn't get the good grades
I think
either.
I'm too young for this. What is this?
You didn't have citizenship grades?
I don't remember that, no.
You're going to have to explain that fascist system we had to the young person.
Citizenship, we were graded on how we comported ourselves, whether we behaved in class. And we got either E for excellent, S for satisfactory, or U for unsatisfactory.
Oh, I probably got all U's.
I got some U's in there, and I just did it just to spite my parents because I did not want to go to a school where my parents were teaching every freaking year.
Be like, hey, guys, I just want to transfer. Thanks.
I wanted to go to my neighborhood high school, which was Narbonne. They wanted me to go to South Torrance High School, where they were teaching, or at least my mother was teaching at the time. Yeah, I had a very strict upbringing. They'll deny it to this day, or at least my mother will. But
they always do.
Yeah, they have no idea. I'm still dealing with it.
They always black out, you know?
Residual
I never did that.
issues. Oh, no, my mom was like, I never, we didn't ground you for months. Yes, you did.
You were so repressed. I would advise nobody to go digging around in your backyard.
Bones everywhere.
Yep.
Very quickly, before we close out the segment, we all remember that one teacher, speaking of which, who made a difference, who believed in us, challenged us, or just made us understand that learning could be fun. Now's your chance to say thank you in a big way with iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. You can nominate an outstanding public school teacher who's gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Today's teacher of the day is Hannah Hartsock, who teaches at Edwin Markham Middle School, and she strives to make sure her classroom is safe, fun, and enjoyable, because when learning is fun, they will hold on to their knowledge even more. Congrats, Hannah Hartsock. You're in the running to win $5,000 for your classroom, and you can help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher right now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
Can we put Tiffany in that?
Is she one of your teachers? I guess you can. It doesn't have to be one of your teachers. It just says nominate a teacher. Do you remember your elementary school teachers by name?
I remember, no.
Mark Ronald, do you?
Eldridge.
Oh, yeah.
She
One of
was
them picked me up by my hair for wising off. Yeah. Mr. Cassidy. I hope he's in hell now.
I remember kindergarten, I had Miss Parchment. She's passed on. First grade, I think all my teachers are gone, was Miss Thompson. And I always asked her, how old are you? And she said, as old as my tongue.
What does that mean?
Exactly.
What? That's either really lame or exceptionally dirty, and I don't know which it is. Which is it?
It was probably lame because I
Okay.
wasn't thinking along those lines. But
All right.
Second grade, before I would go to break, it was Miss Cochran. Third grade was Miss Pennington. I believe she's still with us. Fourth grade was Harold Crumley. He's passed on. Fifth grade was Shirley Traver.
Who's that one with the great name that I wanted to use in a story? You had one with just a
That
magnificent...
was sixth grade.
Yeah.
And that was social studies.
Uh-huh.
Cletus Nesselrode.
Oh, my God.
I got to write that down.
Cletus. It's a real person, Cletus Nesselrode.
I'm using that name.
We called him Nesseltoad.
Now, did you have those paddles that had the holes in them so they could
Yes.
hit you faster and harder with them in
Yeah,
school?
but they couldn't. We'll put it this way: they stopped using them when I was at Arnold Elementary. They could hit you on your knuckles though with their rulers. So
Okay. Well, Mr. Kincaid in the fifth grade, I believe, fifth or sixth grade, made me walk all the way across the school to another teacher to ask if I could borrow one of those paddles, bring it back, let him use it on me, then take it back to the other teacher and thank her for letting me borrow it.
did it whistle?
It sure did.
Mine was, she would make me read in front of the class the most, but she knew I didn't know how to read.
I don't know what to say to that.
Surely that's changed now.
Right. We can only hope.
Well, yeah, but I hated reading in front of people. I still do.
Oh, I
And-
love just being an a-hole in class, and a class clown.
Mo, clear out the next segment. Robin's going to do some reading.
Okay. It's Tech Thursday. That means Marsha Collier joins us in studio. As always, it's wonderful to see you, Marsha Collier. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. Let's dive right into this since we're a little bit behind on the clock. We are inundated with all things AI. And one of the continuing themes we've talked about is protecting our privacy.
That's for sure.
What is the intersection of AI and privacy from where you sit?
AI and there is no more privacy. There are some things you can do when you use AI tools. And I said we're short on time. We may have to carry it over, but I think this is important. You know, there are quite a few AI tools that you can deal with.
Yes.
There's Grok from X. DuckDuckDuck has Duck.ai. There's Perplexity. There's Proton Lumo, Microsoft Copilot, Anthropic Claude. I call it Claude. So, and Google Gemini, ChatGPT, which is OpenAI.
Is there a huge difference between these different chat bots or AI interfaces?
I think so. What I've done in my own experimentation, first of all, I don't recommend downloading the app because you're just opening the door. Hello, come in. Read everything I have right here.
Because
It's
you have to give
all for you.
permissions.
Yeah, exactly. Just for downloading the app. And you don't have to do that. They all have a website. You can go to the website, and they all have some sort of free basis that you can use it. You may run out of time and space, but just play with it if you like it and do. If you have a question, let's say your rhododendrons are dying in your garden. I mean, pick up something like that. Ask something about rhododendron culture and why is this happening. Ask it to 3 different and see what kind of answer you get back.
When I use Google, I'm just looking up, hey, what time does the movie start or whatever? Google now it integrates with Gemini. It gives me an AI overview regardless of whether I ask for it or not. So it seems like it's being integrated everywhere, whether I'm looking for it or not.
Kind of like our governor said, whether you like it or not.
True. So, and I know Mark Ronner probably thinks that this is going to be the end of civilization as we know it. Paraphrasing
it
him.
may well be. Honestly,
wait, which part of it now? I was doing something else and then just heard you trying to needle me about AI.
No. We're saying that AI is embedded in search engines, and we're making the point, like, whether you like it or not, AI is going to be integrated in most facets of life. The cameras that we're using on this show tonight, there's AI where they're studying our faces and our movements, and it's trained to recognize us, identify us, and follow us in the studio.
Yeah, earlier in the day, I bookmarked a tweet from somebody that I wanted to share with you. It says, telling people who oppose AI have fun getting left behind doesn't really work as a response. They've seen where AI is leading people in society and have decided that's not where they want to go. When a car is speeding towards a cliff, getting left behind is just fine.
Well, I'll tell you, Mark, I was just saying, downloading the apps is just opening the door.
Yeah.
You're putting it on your device. If you really want to do it, you can go to, each one has a website. You can go and ask the questions. It was, I think I mentioned once, my earthquake insurance policy. I took the details from that and I gave it to 3 different AIs and asked their opinion on it. Boy, did they have opinions. But what was interesting is ChatGPT was more empathetic. Grok had a lot of thinking to do. And the other one was just, kind of very factual. The thing that I wonder about it is, I have the answer. Are your chats used for targeted ads? What do you think?
I think obviously any type of data which is being used and stored and sold is going to be used for marketing purposes at some point.
It's all fair game, and it shouldn't be.
Well, ChatGPT, OpenAI's privacy policy says it does not sell or share
Lies.
Personal data.
Lies.
For contextual
I'm with
behavioral
Mark on that one.
advertising.
Lies.
Claude doesn't use conversations for targeted ads.
Lies.
Google
Lies.
doesn't use chat. This is in their privacy policy. What can I say? But the ones that say and admit to it, yes, Perplexity, which is really popular now and worth trying out. Again, go to the website, ask a question that's bothering you. What can I substitute for, I don't know.
But obviously don't give it personal information.
Well, that's the problem. If you give it personal information. But what I wanted to tell you is Microsoft, that's baked in. Copilot is baked into the computer.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want it using your data for targeted ads and other things, what you need to do is click your profile image, in the upper right-hand corner, your name, privacy and disabling, personalization and memory. A separate link disables all personalized ads for your Microsoft account.
I have a question. You may not know the answer to this because I'm springing it on you. Just about, if I understand you correctly, any Windows computer or laptop at this point that we purchase, it will have Copilot loaded in it, won't it?
Not all of Copilot. You still have to give permission for the extended version.
Okay.
This is one of the reasons why I'm testing and forcing myself to use one of the new Super Pro Chromebooks. Boy, it's a challenge, but it's all different. And I figure we're keeping the data with one person, one company.
You hope.
I hope.
We're live right now in the studio with the Marsha Collier as we talk about all things tech on this Thursday. Marsha, I know that beyond the conversation of AI, every single device in the IoT, the Internet of Things, will include AI going forward. Is that a reasonable assumption?
Your refrigerator is going to have AI. Your stove is going to have AI. It's going to be everywhere. But the only thing you can do is you can regulate how much of it you're going to let in. When you have to agree to extra terms, because you buy something, just by buying it and using it, you're agreeing to certain stuff. But when they want to add stuff on and they ask for more, click here to agree, you better read what you're doing. And why not copy and paste it into another AI and see what it really is? Just
use it against itself.
Ask for a summary or a bulleted point document. That's what it's good for, and that's what I use it for. But there are people using AI now. I'm sure Sam can tell us about that they're falling in love with AI. They're supplemental girlfriends and boyfriends.
Yeah, and Sam was telling us about that. We're talking about Sam, the sex doctor, how people, and I think there's a generational difference where it serves a utility. AI serves the utility, companionship in their lives that it doesn't make sense in my life. I'm still about the actual person. Even though I may talk to someone only via screen, I know that there is a person on the other side.
Well, but don't you remember the days when you called 1-888 and it...
I never did that.
But I'm sure you didn't. But I remember seeing the ads.
It was 976.
It was a 976. Yeah, no, I think every generation had their own version of it. I mean, now it's just gotten, and as soon as the robots really start looking good, I see that one robot at all the tech conferences, and they've improved her every year.
Oh, look, it's going to be here, that actual physical companion. I'll just say companion.
Yeah.
That is going to replace a human within someone's life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But it will be good in certain ways, like people who need caretakers, people who've had surgery and need a nurse to watch them. They can take pictures. They can send pictures back to a doctor. They can follow instructions. I mean, that can be done. We have the technology for that now. We just have to make them look a little less scary, I think.
Yeah, they haven't quite mastered the facial expressions, the eye where it looks like it's looking at you as opposed to past you, the subtleties which make it feel more human.
Well, the humanity. It's just like on some radio stations, they use AI to read the news.
I was telling Mark that. He didn't want to hear that. He's saying it was abomination, that no one wants it. I said, no, the corporate overlords absolutely want it.
Yeah, the corporate overlords do, because they'll make money and they won't have to pay a human being enough to survive.
Right.
Correct.
The rest of humanity doesn't want it and has no interest in listening to an AI deliver the news or anything else.
When we're off the air, I will be glad to tell you who, when, and where, and who has it. And
some of it is damn good, as far as pretty hard to distinguish. It's trained off of real people.
Well, also, if you think that a journalist is just a news reader, I got a few things to tell you.
You stop being so altruistic, okay? We all know that it's not the same as an actual journalist is making editorial decisions.
Is not a newsreader, and they're not just a presenter. There's a difference between a presenter and a journalist. A journalist finds the stories or does the stories that the presenter presents. And the presenter can be AI very easily.
This is exhausting and depressing.
The end is nigh.
Yeah, I mean, the journalist can have the human intuition, and that's one of the things that they lack, even in the voices of the AI. You don't hear the cadence of a human, the way we talk.
Yeah, it's very unappealing. And by the way, I think it's sometimes a mistake to try and separate those elements out into discrete, singular elements. I mean, I'm all those things. I read the news, but I'm also a journalist.
But you're also more expensive.
Not that much.
You're more expensive than zero.
Yeah, more than zero, yes.
Yep, more expensive than zero. But, I know you guys talked about that, but AI, all you have to do is think about it. Human empathy is one thing it can't yet, and I don't think it will in our lifetimes, put into the equation of its decision-making.
I hate to be conspiratorial. I think it exists. but probably on a military level, not consumer use. Like, for example, I make this analogy all the time. You look at the satellite photos of the 1960s, and with the exception of color, pretty damn good. And that was the 1960s. Okay. Who knows what they have today? And
except the pictures of the moon. The pictures of the moon that they did in the olden days don't even look like it's on the moon. So, there's that.
She's talking about Stanley Kubrick faking it. Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's Capricorn 1. I know. But my point is, I'm quite sure what we as consumers are seeing and using, probably a small percentage of the true capability which has already been reached.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no question about it. But still, there will have to be the human, because a mathematical decision isn't always the best one.
No.
I mean, do you want to continue to send someone for medical treatment and medical treatment and medical treatment? And yes, it's going to work. And yes, it's going to cure them eventually. But the years that they may have to spend in treatment may eat up too much of their life, too much of their happy time, too much of their family time.
No, there has to be a human element. And this is where I do agree with Mark. Humans are still needed in the equation of AI's capabilities. It can't do anything without us. It still has to learn from articles which are actually already in existence. It's taking information that we're inputting into it. So AI is not exclusive of us. It has to be inclusive of us, so far, at least for now.
Well, there's a new app called Notebook LM from Google. And someone has taken my books and gone chapter by chapter.
Oh, gosh.
And it makes a 2-person podcast. Hand to God, this is the truth. And the 2-person podcast, you'd swear it was people, but it is in that halting AI voice.
Mm-hmm.
And they discuss each chapter of my book, just like they were reviewing the book and the whole thing. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Are they selling it?
No. But they're getting clicks for their advertisers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
See, now we make money in many different ways, and this will just be another way to make money.
I just want to leave you with one thought. We keep talking about AI replacing workers and professionals and journalists and whatnot. You know what would be the best use of AI would be to replace CEOs, because those things are expensive, and as far as I can tell, they don't do that much.
And they won't need that balloon at the end when they get fired.
The parachute, golden parachute.
Golden parachute.
The only problem is it's the CEO who would have to make the expenditure and also the decision. And just like Congress, they're not going to do anything which might end up replacing them.
It's going to be a tough sell, and it may require some force.
Yeah, let's just go back to the gold standard, and we'll figure it out from there.
Well, that ain't going to happen, so. Marsha Collier, it's always great to see you. Love having you in studio, and hope we get to do it again this time next week.
I hope so, too.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640, we're going to talk about AMC and also how they're going to shorten their previews and about face of what they were doing just 2 weeks ago. Really do encourage you to at least check out the YouTube show, which is managed by our video technical director, Daniel. There is a video component to all these stories that we discussed. We have guests. You get to see him, her, or them. And you can also participate with the other Momigos, the people who are in the chat, or you could just watch the show and you can X out of the chat so you don't see any of the comments and just enjoy it for what it is. But it's a new way to experience radio, especially KFI, specifically Later with Mo Kelly. And something we talk about often on the show, movies and movie theaters. And we talked about how movie theaters were specifically trying to make more money, get another stream of income, if you will, by adding commercials to the pre-show trailers. So you'd have a trailer, then maybe a full-blown commercial, then another trailer, another commercial, where it used to be you didn't have commercials. You may have local ads, which were on a static frame in between the movies, and people would come in and the lights were up and you just have like an ad for a bowling alley and it would just be static. I'm talking about full-blown commercials, which are after the lights have come down. I'm not talking about the M&Ms. I'm not talking about where they're saying don't talk or text. I'm talking specifically about this product or that product. And it got to be to the point where the pre-show show, if you will, 28 to 30 minutes long of you watching trailers and adverts. And so people started saying, well, since I know there's going to be a good half hour in which I'm going to be watching this non-movie content, people like Mark Ronner, people like Twala Sharp said, hey, why don't we just show up a little bit later, like a half hour later? Why? Because most movie theaters, you have reserved seating. You don't have to fight for a seat or get there early to claim a seat anymore. You probably have already purchased your seat or reserved your seat weeks or months in advance. Twala, I hate to tell all his business, but whenever a movie goes on sale that he wants to see, he will often buy the tickets the first day. So he knows weeks in advance where he's going to be, when he's going to be, what seat he's going to be in, and what time the movie starts. And the listed movie time usually is at least 30 minutes before the movie actually starts. So when a company like AMC or Regal or Cinemark, Edwards, whoever it may be, says out loud, yes, we are adding commercials to the trailers and the pre-show, a lot of people have said, you know what, I don't need to be there. I don't need to sit down for a 12:30 movie at 12:30 when I know it's not going to start until 1 o'clock. I could maybe get there at 12:30 and then get in the concessions line because it's going to take at least 20 minutes for me to get my food, and I can be confident in the fact that I'm not going to miss anything.
I actually liked the addition of the notification of the extra 30 minutes of wait time, because for me, that gave me a nice sigh of relief. Like, oh, okay, I don't got to rush. Like sometimes I'd be like for a 12:30 film, it's like Mark, like we're good. 12:15, 12:20. I'm still working on stuff here. Like we're good. The trailers, all that. We show up at 1, our film probably still won't be showing, and that has happened. So for me, that 12:30 cushion. That's for that ungodly long line where you're standing in there for whatever it is they may be cooking for you, where they're like, it'll be about 15, 20 minutes for pizza.
But it seems now that AMC is saying, okay, we've heard you. We've heard your complaints. We understand that you're not cool with that. And they are getting pushback from movie studios. They're saying like, hey, we're paying to have our trailers in your movies. And since you, AMC, have announced that they're going to have all these extra commercials, people are not sitting in and watching our trailers.
Oh, I guess that would be a drawback.
Yeah, so they're saying, well, maybe we as AMC need to rethink this. You damn right you need to rethink it.
Because you know what? It was actually like a half-hour series, because it would start with the AMC, hey, you're at AMC, welcome to AMC. And then it would go into trailer, and then it would go into like a 2 commercial break. And then trailer, commercial break, trailer, commercial, and then you're moving. I'm like, this is like a half-hour television series. Oh, and then Nicole Kidman. Well, Nicole Kidman and the couple who are fighting or dancing and partying over Coca-Cola or whatever.
Right.
They happen. And then Nicole. And then the whole welcome to AMC. Your theater. It's the experience. I'll only go see IMAX. They got to do the big presentation. But it's literally like a half-hour television show before your thing, your movie.
Mark, I know you're busy, but I'm going to interrupt you anyway. Are you in any way dissuaded knowing that there's going to be the 30-minute pre-show roll?
It just drives me out of my mind. I think it's so rude. And like at the basis of a lot of the things we talk about, I just insist we have the right to be notified of stuff that's being done to us or on us or for us. Pick your preposition. We deserve to know when we're consuming AI. We deserve to know when the damn movie starts. But it's in a lot of people's financial best interest that we don't know any of that's not disclosed.
I agree with you, but I'm not naive to how capitalism works. And AMC or any movie theater, they're in the business of trying to have as much money come in as possible. That means $8 for a bucket of popcorn. That means $6 for some Junior Mints.
That means $80 for that Galactus popcorn bucket.
Yes, and if it means that they can stuff in some other commercials and add to their revenue stream, they're going to do it. Now it seems like it's like law of diminishing returns, where the more commercials they stuff in it, the less inclined people are actually going to sit in the theater and watch the trailers or the commercials. And I'm quite sure they have the metrics to validate this, that there are fewer people in the seats prior to the movie actually starting. They can monitor all that. So for them to say, okay, they're looking to shorten the pre-show, that means that the statistics have not validated adding the commercials beyond the revenue.
No, that stuff tends to find its equilibrium sooner or later. And of course, they have marketing research to validate all that. But the simple fact that the marketing research quantifies is that you can only squeeze people up to a point. You can squeeze them a lot, but not infinitely. And that's what these commercials are doing.
Absolutely agree.
You're like a vigilante, Mark. I swear. Listen, you talk to us like Charles Bronson.
That's right.
Death Wish 3.
Right. You believe in Jesus? Well, you're going to meet him.
I thought he was more like a more Dirty Harry. Feeling lucky?
They're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, same decade. When we come back, you know what that means? Oh, no. I'm going to get ahead of myself. I was getting ready to say the sex doctor is in, but not quite yet.
Careful.
I know. Let's talk about HBO Max and Hulu. HBO Max is going to crack down on password sharing, a la Netflix and Disney. And Hulu, the app, is going away. We'll tell you about it in just a moment. YouTube and the iHeartRadio app and social media in general. And if you do anything on streaming like I do, you might have 4 or 5 different streaming services. You might have Hulu, Netflix, Paramount Plus, Peacock, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus. You can run the list. Some are much more stringent with password sharing than others. Last year, I would say, maybe 2 years ago, Netflix had this plan, and I thought it was crazy. I thought there's no way they're going to do this. It's going to be harmful to the company. They're going to lose subscribers. But Netflix decided to crack down on password sharing. And what they did was they basically forced you to log in from where your Wi-Fi is located and designate that as your home Wi-Fi. So anyone who logged in on your profile from some other Wi-Fi location, they would know that you were sharing your password, and they would lock you out, and you'd have to get an extra credential, which like maybe $6.99. It was at a reduced price, but still they were cracking down on password sharing. I didn't think it was going to work. I thought it was going to piss off subscribers more than anything. It was going to be more harmful than helpful. I was completely wrong, and Netflix made more money than ever before. It worked like gangbusters. And I obviously was not the only one who had that opinion, because the other streaming services were reticent to adopt the policy. They were really slow on the uptake as far as trying to do the same thing. And it's taken years for the other streaming services to dip their toe in that water. Now, HBO Max, which is similarly priced to Netflix, it's one of the more expensive ones, depending on your streaming level. They are now going to start, as of next month, cracking down on password sharing. And they say they're going to get aggressive, as it reads, next month. And this is according to the Warner Brothers digital streaming chief, J.B. Perrette. That's what he had to say. They're going to start cracking down. And they say, it goes to something like this. They say the message language right now has been a fairly soft, cancelable message. It will start to get more fixed and such that people will have to take action, as opposed to right now sort of having to be a voluntary process. Once those directives are established, he said the real benefit will start probably in the fourth quarter and then kick in 2026. So they're going to try to very politely nudge you and suggest, hey, you have this option. We know that you're sharing passwords with your cousin, your friend, your brother, your girlfriend, your baby mama. That's going to have to stop. So you're going to have to buy another login or, another subscription. And then it'll get progressively more angry by the time they get to around Christmas or so. But they're going to start this next month. And I just checked. I didn't know I still had HBO Max. I could have sworn I had canceled that streaming service because there's like nothing I watched. Mark, the last thing I watched on HBO Max was, I think, Tokyo Vice.
Well, that's a good one to go out on, but
Yeah, but they've been getting my money since then. That's the problem.
they've got some good stuff on there. I'm trying to remember the last thing
Exactly.
on there.
You
Well, I
have to-
watch John Oliver every week. He's terrific. He's worth the whole subscription price right there.
Well, that's usually the case. If there are one or two things that you can swear by, dependable, and a long season, you can't depend on it as far as just a movie. You need more than just a movie here or there. Then, yeah, it'll justify the subscription.
I don't think they have South Park anymore. I think that just moved to
With the
Paramount Plus. Yeah.
that billion.
And I just got rid of Paramount Plus.
Well, can't have it all. Can't have it all. And speaking of can't have it all, you can't have the Hulu app much longer. But the service is going to live on. This is according to Disney. They announced this on Wednesday, yesterday. Disney is going to be fully integrating Hulu into its Disney Plus service, and the unified app will roll out next year. Hulu will exist as a tile on the Disney Plus platform. You know, if you log into Disney Plus, you'll see drop downs for like Pixar, Star Wars, Marvel. They will do the same thing, except the Hulu will have its own tile and section. And beginning this fall, it will also replace the Star tile on Disney Plus internationally after previously being a U.S.-only app. Here's what they said. Bob Iger, the CEO, said, quote, "Today we are announcing a major step forward in strengthening our streaming offering by fully integrating Hulu into Disney Plus. This will create an impressive package of entertainment, pairing the highest caliber brands and franchises, great general entertainment, family programming, news, and industry-leading live sports content in a single app. Work is already underway to continue enhancing our technology, and over the coming months, we will be implementing numerous improvements within the Disney Plus app, including exciting new features and a more personalized homepage, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah." As of this story, the official ESPN standalone app will cost $29.99 a month. Oof. You're going to have to make some decisions. You can't have all these streaming services.
Oh, that's a bit much.
Yeah, and I think Disney, the year subscription, I think is $139 now, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm seeing more of the streamers make you pay for a whole year
Yeah.
at once, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I only do that, well, at Prime and Disney Plus. Disney Plus, because I know there's 7 to 8 things I'm going to be watching over the course of a year. I don't have a problem with that one.
Also, I'm the only one that doesn't like Disney Plus.
It's one of the basics. You got to have it. But the thing is, a lot of the streamers used to give you a discount if you paid for all 12 months at once. Now it's just kind of standard, and that's how it auto renews, and I don't like that.
Well, it used to be if you pay the highest tier, you wouldn't get any ads. Now it's almost impossible for you to get a streaming service without ads. I paid for premium Amazon Prime, and now they got to say, well, if you pay an extra $2.50 a month, you can get it with no ads.
You'll watch them and you'll like them.
Wait, it's like, I thought that's what I had in the first place. So they said, no, sir, that's what you used to have. What do you mean? I didn't change anything.
Cable.
Well,
I mean, it's costing money.
but it's still, for me and my lifestyle, what I was paying for DirecTV satellite, I'm not still anywhere close. I'm still under $100.
Do you share an app with anybody?
I'm not saying that live.
Of course not. I didn't mean to bust you out on the air.
That's inappropriate. That's downright stealing.
No, you believe in the law. I should make that clear to everybody listening right now.
Sam the Sex Doctor joins us next. It's Facebook, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. It is now time for the Sex Doctor, Sam Zia, who joins us in studio. Good evening, brother. How you doing tonight?
Good. It's good seeing you. How's it going?
It's going well. And you and I have discussed this next topic informally any number of times, how this country specifically can be rather uptight as it relates to sex, comparatively speaking to other countries around the world. We have had some, my word, ridiculous laws which have been on the books for centuries. Some are still there. Some have been overturned. You think we're getting a little better, and then we go back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Where are we now in a litigious sense, in a legal sense, with dealing with the idea of sex in America?
Well, we were talking a couple weeks ago. We had when we brought in the giant box of sex toys, adult novelties, and stuff like that. There's laws on the books that are in Texas limiting the amount of pleasure products that people can own, and there's laws that are being copied in other regions of the country, other parts of the country that are similar to that. So obviously, when I look into that stuff, I go and I explore that stuff, and I'm like, you know what? There's got to be other really ridiculous laws regarding sex and sexuality on the books, and obviously there are. First off, it's not just here in the United States, it's all over the world, but I'll get to the world in just a moment. First, we got to go through all the stuff here in the good old US of A.
Okay.
Did you know that in the state of Florida, and I don't know why anyone would want to do this in the first place, but somebody did and they made a law around it. It is forbidden to have intercourse with a hedgehog.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah. That's something that it's not like other animals, but specifically hedgehogs. Sonic is going to be lonely in Florida.
When I hear a law like that, that tells me it's because there was a specific incident which served as the genus for the law. Okay, it didn't come. It wasn't hedgehog out of nowhere. There was somebody with some hedgehog somewhere, which led to this legislation.
Yeah.
And someone actually brought it before a body like, an assembly or state senate and said, we need to pass this.
Yeah. And it's the outcome of it didn't stay private. That's why it becomes something that becomes legislated against once it becomes a public thing. Also, if you're in Alexandria, Minnesota, it's illegal for a man whose breath smells of garlic, onions, or sardines to have sex with his wife.
So it's a law specifically about Bill Handel.
I didn't say that.
They play the promos all day. Come on.
No, look, people always want to blame me for everything I didn't say. Okay, I just want to be clear. Okay.
I say it with love.
Got to get that Zellman's. We can test out that stuff with that entire city right there in Alexandria, Minnesota. Logan County, Colorado. It's illegal to kiss a woman as she's asleep. Yeah, that's consent. You need consent.
I can't kiss my wife on the forehead as she's asleep. Like, for example, my wife will kiss me goodbye, and I could be asleep when she's getting ready to leave to go for work. That's kind of like our routine.
Yeah.
That would be illegal.
No, it's not illegal here. It's illegal if you were to do that in Logan County, Colorado. I mean. Yeah. Let's see.
Wait.
Yeah.
How are they going to find out?
Exactly. Somebody has to complain. There has to be some kind of video footage, some kind of evidence against you in that kind of circumstance, I'm guessing. In Ames, Iowa, it's illegal for men to drink 3 sips of beer while in bed with their wife. Actually, it says wives. I'm assuming
okay. Can you do it with your concubine? Can you do it with your mistress? Can you do it?
Do you have to stand out of bed, drink a couple, and then go back into bed?
No, you can sit on the side of the bed. Can you sit on the side?
I think you could sit outside of the bed.
That's still in bed, right?
Yeah, it says you can't drink 3 sips of beer in bed. You can sit on the outside of the bed. You can stand on the bed, I'm guessing. No, it doesn't say sitting. It just says you can't be in bed. Okay. I was hoping you can't be sitting or lying in bed having a beer. If you want to stand in bed, go ahead. But no, they specify you can't just be in bed doing it. In Tremonton, Utah, it's a crime for a woman to have sex with a man who is in an ambulance. She can be charged with wrongdoing, and her name will be published in the newspaper.
It doesn't delineate between riding as someone who's in aid or someone who's actually a paramedic.
It doesn't specify. It is a crime for a woman to have sex with a man.
But it's not a crime for the man to have sex with that woman.
Exactly. Or if, say, example, it was a woman having sex with another woman. They don't specify.
You just can't. My goodness, this is exploding my brain.
Yeah. In Hastings, Nebraska, law states that people visiting hotels must have white nightgowns. And like if a couple wants to have sex in a hotel in Hastings, Nebraska, they must wear these clean nightgowns, which are provided by the hotels.
How are they supposed to know this? Like, do they have cameras inside your bedroom or something?
No, but these laws probably predate cameras.
Yeah.
Security cams, at least.
Yeah. So somebody has to complain, basically.
So they hear the headboard knocking against the wall.
Hey, I need to see you in that nightgown. Otherwise, I'm going to have to call the police.
And it's a nightgown for both
Yes,
parties.
That's what it says there, yeah. Both of them have to be wearing it. No couple is allowed to have sex in a hotel unless they are wearing these clean shirts. In Michigan, I'm apparently I lived in Michigan for a couple of years. I'm apparently a felon. It is a felony for any this law has been on the books since 1931. It states that any man who shall seduce and debauch any unmarried woman shall be guilty of a felony. 5 years in prison, a fine no more of $2,500. Man, I don't know if I should be confessing to that. I have debauched a few people in the state of Michigan.
I have never heard that used as a word. I mean, as a verb. I've heard it used as like a noun, like debauchery.
Yeah,
but not like verb. Come over here so I can debauch you.
I mean, I do like cops interfere you mid debauch, and do you have to like
Mark debauch you? Get the debauch out of here.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Sorry. Find a new verb.
Okay.
If you're in Mississippi, it is illegal to teach people about polygamy. Any instruction on polygamy, it says it is illegal to teach another doctrine, principle, or tenets, or any of them of polygamy. You are not allowed to teach any of that stuff. It could result in a $500 fine and 6 months in jail.
Does it mean that it's also illegal to engage in polygamy, or just don't teach about polygamy?
Don't teach about it. It's engaging in it, I'm sure, is going to have its own set
So
of
don't ask, don't tell?
restrictions. Yeah. Don't. Can you give knowing winks? Like, Like, give like that, like little like suggestive eyebrow raise. Do you?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy. I believe in polygamy.
I'm not teaching. I'm not teaching.
I'm practicing.
There's a difference.
And if you're in Kern County, California,
California,
yeah, bring it in on home. It is illegal to have pillows that are in the shape of women's breasts and having them displayed along the side of the highway.
That is so damn specific.
Yeah.
It's also reversed because women's breasts are in the shape of pillows. Get it correct, will you?
And it says vendors can't sell or even display booby pillows within 1,000 feet of a highway.
Okay.
Doing so could get you a $500 fine or a 90-day stint in county jail.
I love how like all of these have been done and someone has complained about
Someone had to have done it for it to be made into a law.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And someone had to have voted on it, presumably.
What if it was a pillow shaped in an ass?
Ooh, see, I don't think that's been legislated against. Penis pillows also. It doesn't specify. Mm-hmm. But they have a lot of hard feelings about booby pillows.
Mike Lindell would not appreciate that.
I like that kind of my pillow.
Sexual laws around the world, even today. Well, I should say last segment, we did sex laws in the United States. Now we're getting ready to go around the world. Where are we stopping first, Sam?
Well, first place we're going to stop is in Lebanon, where sexual relationships with animals are allowed as long as the animal is of the opposite sex. Gay bestiality out the window.
Oh, damn.
Wait. You can do whatever to whatever, provided...
Including hedgehogs.
Provided the object of your affection is not the same sex as you.
Yes, because they're really against gay relationships out there.
Oh, I knew that. I just didn't know it was that to that degree.
Seriously. In Bahrain, male gynecologists are prohibited from working directly and looking directly at female genitalia, so they have to use a mirror to work.
But everything's backwards.
Yeah, no, you have to get really good at, working in reverse.
And it's already uncomfortable for the woman anyways. Now you got to mirror it?
Yeah. Yeah. Remember, left is right, up is down.
So what? Can you do it on Zoom?
At this point, I'm sure you could.
And then you like flip your background or something?
Yeah. You know.
Don't laugh at my jokes and not give me a rim shot. That is disrespectful.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hold on.
Thank you very much. You were saying, Sam.
In Indonesia, I'd be dead a million times over. Anyone caught in the act of masturbating will be beheaded.
Way too much information, Dr. Sam.
Yeah.
Way too much information.
Yeah, I think a lot of us would be dead 1,000 times over. That's the kind of thing you don't want to get caught doing in Indonesia. In Estonia, here is one that's interesting. In Estonia, it is forbidden to play chess while having sex.
That seems like it would be a downer.
Playing chess or
playing chess while sex. I'm thinking anything I have to really concentrate on.
Yeah, you want
other than
actual action.
You want to be careful castling.
Ooh,
see,
watch where you put that rook.
I'm not doing it.
I could picture chess being like how, you know, a lot of guys will think of old baseball players to help delay things a little bit, you know,
brown rice.
But I could also see like that, like knight, jump, queen, and then immediately they're losing their mind on that. So there's a lot of different. I could see why chess and sex would be a hard mix.
You want to mind the bishop,
especially the way it's shaped.
Thank you for that.
Oh wow. Tough crowd, Mark.
I don't think so.
Crowd.
In Siena, Italy, women named Maria are not allowed to work as sex workers.
What if her name is Cinnamon?
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be fine.
Okay.
What about Candy?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
But obviously, there's a lot of religious connotations around the name Maria.
They don't use their real names anyway.
Yeah.
Maria, come on.
And if you're Jasmine, you're required to be a sex worker.
In Italy, obviously, yes.
Robin does not like you, Mark, at all. She shook her head. I was like, no, I'm not going to give a rim shot for that.
In Japan, and I think a lot of people who watch adult films will know this law in Japan, you can't show any footage of male genitalia and female you actually, that's why they have
Pixelated.
it pixelated.
Yeah.
And it's also,
I did know that one.
You said that really fast.
I'm saying I did know that one. That's what I'm saying.
I went to Japan a couple years ago, and I looked down when I went to the bathroom to see if I was pixelated, and I was disappointed when I wasn't. But it was. Oh, I got one.
Mark, she does not like you. See?
It's not your night, Mark.
But because of these laws, it led to the creation of tentacle porn, which is something that is a thing in Japanese manga and anime.
Tentacle
hentai. Hentai.
Tentacle porn?
There's a word for it, isn't it?
Hentai.
There.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You want to elaborate for people who don't know?
It's animation that does a lot of suggestive stuff without showing, because it's illegal to show humans procreating, the physical act. So they'll substitute a human appendage for an octopus appendage. It's animated, folks. It's not real.
So what if it's porn, but it's animated porn, but like regular?
You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
Nope.
Nope. Not
That's
even
the-
animated?
That's the whole point. Yeah.
Mm.
You cannot show sex in its natural form.
Quit looking for loopholes.
Well, I mean, technically.
No,
anime
there's
is
no
it?
technical. Nope. There's no way around it.
All right.
Yeah.
There's no
Good
way
to
you
know.
could. Okay.
Never
I
going
know
there.
you're trying to reach around the law, but you can't.
Well,
What was that?
In Uganda, it's they have anti-pornography laws in Uganda so strong and strict that you can't even have sexy music. So they have like software. They have like a pornography detection
Can
machine.
you play Beethoven?
There's no words in that, and I
You can't say you can't play Barry White.
Barry White, yeah, absolutely. That's baby making music. You can't. I'm sure that will be considered pornographic in Uganda. But it's not just movies or photos. They're looking for audio recordings, writings, erotic music, all of that stuff. They're trying to wipe all of that stuff out of their country.
So no Prince.
No Prince, none.
What if
No
you're
Marvin
listening to
Gaye.
it, but
No
not
Marvin
actually-
Gaye. That's a tragedy right there.
What if you're listening to it, but nothing is happening? You just want to listen to the music. They're still getting rid of it.
You are still looking for these loopholes.
I mean,
It's still pornographic. Also, and we can cap it off with this one. Australia, they have. It's interesting
you can have sex with a spider inside the room.
that there's spiders in every room in Australia. So yeah, no, that wouldn't be it.
That's why I'm not going.
But they have a fear that showing women with A cups, like nude, will promote pedophilia, especially if the person who is being photographed or filmed nude is close to the age of consent. So they have a law that basically says if you're going to have somebody naked, or publications are going to have offensive depictions or descriptions of people who are over the age of 18, they have to be big. They have to have larger breasts so that it doesn't for fear of promoting pedophilia. They have to have, anybody who's doing that stuff has to have larger breasts. I'm not complaining, but I just find that a little
I'm not going to offer any jokes here.
Yeah.
Because any joke I make is going to be wrong. Nope.
All of us, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see all four of us on the screen shaking our heads. Nope.
I am not. No,
I'm
sir.
just thinking about the list of countries Robin can't go to, which now includes Uganda and
I
Japan.
know. I gotta start writing them down now. Where's my?
In Australia.
iPad? In Australia.
Yeah. That's okay.
But
Just
I
don't
mean,
travel
I'm
anywhere. Or just don't have sex anywhere you go.
Yeah, just go to Germany. It's a nation of perverts.
Yeah. Amsterdam, I think, is kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
Don't they do drugs all the time?
That too.
Yeah. And
Yeah. They have a whole like red light district where you can do just about anything.
You can go window shopping.
So it's like our
Choose your own
Skid Row?
adventure. No. We just have homeless people at Skid Row. In Amsterdam, it's almost like going to a mall and how much for the doggy in the window?
Yep.
That kind of thing.
Is that what you wanted to say? Is it?
Okay, why don't we just go to break? And,
30.
I'll have the conversation with her off there to give her the full lowdown.
I appreciate it.
when we come back, Uber has its own sex problems. We'll tell you about it in just a moment. It's later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And oftentimes we talk about Uber. If Stefan was here, we'd ask him about this.
I Uber too.
I know. Let's get into that. Right. And Robin, who is here in his place, will be a fine substitute, as Uber has had this long time ongoing, yet not often publicized sexual assault problem. Uber received a report of sexual assault or sexual misconduct in the U.S. almost every 8 minutes on average between 2017 and 2022. And these according to court records. Hundreds of the records have been under seal as part of large-scale sexual assault litigation against Uber. Now, Uber obviously has chosen to hide a lot of this information in the form of claiming that these drivers are not their employees. They are independent contractors. And that makes them less liable because they're not actual employees. They don't have to pay them as much money individually as far as benefits, overtime. And since they are independent contractors, they're not subject to being responsible for supervision of these independent contractors as opposed to traditional employees. Here are some more distressing statistics, and Robin, I'm going to bring you in on this. From 2017 to 2022, a total of 400,181 Uber trips resulted in reports of sexual assault and sexual misconduct in just the U.S. Just the U.S. Previously, the company had disclosed only 12,522 accounts of serious sexual assaults for that same period, without indicating the total number being closer to 400,000. You, Robin, as someone who's driven for Uber, probably has found yourself in some questionable situations with riders. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
How often on average? Is it like if you're
Not so
once
much.
a night?
Not so much anymore because somehow like I don't get so much rides in downtown anymore. But downtown was because I would go overnight, so I sometimes I would stop at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning after everyone's like done drinking and after parties and everything. So downtown was a mess.
It's probably easy to find a fare, but also more dangerous because of the time, likely inebriated, and the location. Is that fair? Yeah, see, that was something that I didn't think of in my just being a man. I'm sorry, sometimes we don't think of things through the eyes as a woman would. But if you're driving Uber late at night, depending on the side of town, yes, you could be putting yourself in grave danger. And then when you look at the data, the number of sexual assaults which were reported, and I have to assume a lot of them were not reported. I'd never assume that everyone is reporting everything which happens to them. I don't think that. And Uber, I don't think Uber is markedly different from Lyft. I don't use Lyft. I use Uber, but we're still talking about the same matrix of ride sharing. So it has to be comparably dangerous. This just says to me that not only there is a problem, but it's been going on for quite some time. Obviously, Uber has downplayed it, and it doesn't delineate as far as whether the driver was more in danger in these sexual assault complaints or whether it was the rider, but I'm quite sure it's some combination of both.
Yeah, that's why now they started having girls match with girls. So,
we did talk about this on the show as far as having that option where female riders could request. You weren't guaranteed, but you could request a female driver. And I don't know if that solves the problem.
it probably won't because there's some people, like I knew like a couple customers said that there's a guy driving for Uber, but supposedly his name was Brittany.
Oh, gosh.
And so there's ways around that.
But was he using a fake name or was his name legitimately Brittany? Like, we may know men whose name Leslie.
Fake.
Okay.
Yeah, because he got upset when they're like, is your name really Brittany? And he just got upset.
I thought the verification procedures for drivers were much more stringent now.
They are, but there's still ways around it. So if like you are using your friend's app, like and it asks for your face, you can just literally be like, "Hey, can you do this real quick?" and then just go on.
And then you go on for the rest of the session. Oh my goodness. Well,
That's
got to
why
rethink
now
using Uber.
I have a PIN
Mm-hmm.
so that I know, because there's been plenty of times where people just hop in my car, and I'm just like, "Can I help you?"
Mm-hmm.
And after like one time, it was two guys, and they seemed like they were definitely on drugs. And they're like, "We'll just pay you." And I'm like, "No, like I literally am waiting for someone. Like I'm not going to do that." And they got all mad. And at some points, like when that happens, it's really scary for women because you don't know what's going to happen, especially if it's two guys and they seem on drugs.
We got to go to a break now, but do you have cameras when you were driving? Did you have like a cam facing inward?
I do have one now, and I also have like a mace and a taser.
Mm-hmm.
So
good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is shocking, if only because I always assume it's worse than what they tell us. And Dr. Sam, very quickly before we go to break, what's your takeaway?
The impact of alcohol on the entire equation. You have a lot of times people going to using Uber services or using these drive services because they've come from a bar or a party or something where they've been drinking or consuming something. So you're going to have the drivers, I'm assuming, are going to be at higher level of exposure to people who are going to be more likely to do stuff like that just because of the impact of alcohol and drugs.
If anything, this is ushering in robo-taxis and automated cars like Waymo quicker than most likely they would have naturally come to be. And before we get out of here, here is my final thought for the night and also the week. The Wall Street Journal recently published an op-ed arguing that the WNBA needed to better protect its star, Caitlin Clark, or maybe have the federal government step in. Long story short, Clark is posited as the face of the league and chief asset, and she gets fouled way too hard or way too often, something, she's fragile, all Caitlins matter, blah, blah, blah. The federal government stepping in and taking over a private pro sports league in the name of civil rights? You heard that right. That's what the Wall Street Journal argued, or at least one writer in the Wall Street Journal. So much for small government. The op-ed was written by Sean McClain, founder of Origin Advocacy, a lobbying firm, not a sports organization. He previously served in the first Trump White House and the offices of Senator Ted Cruz. If you're looking for any sports or basketball bona fides, he has none. All political. Note the op-ed was published in the Wall Street Journal, the home of all things sports and women's basketball, or not at all. Sounds like Mr. McClain doesn't want to keep politics out of his sports, but it did finally filter down to actual sports news outlets. ESPN host and face of the network and possible future presidential candidate Stephen A. Smith weighed in a day or two later, saying that he believed President Trump could spark an investigation into Caitlin Clark regarding her WNBA treatment purely for political gain. Not the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, which would be the appropriate venue, but the president himself. Again, not exactly keeping the politics off our sports dinner plates. Here's what Smith had to say.
I am not guessing on this. I didn't go on my show and just bring it up for no reason. I happen to know a few people who have said this is something that do not be surprised that President Trump speaks on eventually. And if that man decides that this is something that can feed his base, that can ingratiate himself with that kind of audience that is protective of a Caitlin Clark and what she stands for and what she represents, and they come to a conclusion that they believe she is being unfairly treated, that is going to be a problem for the WNBA.
That's Stephen A. Smith on Caitlin Clark. You may remember that we discussed the new LA 28 Olympic Task Force that President Trump created through an executive order, and he himself is heading up the task force. What his specific duties are or will be, I have no freaking idea. I honestly don't know. He knows nothing about Olympic sports. But you may remember that in his announcement the other day, he celebrated how the task force would make sure no men will steal, his word, steal trophies from women. I don't want to be the one to inform him that the Olympics doesn't give out trophies, but medals, but somebody should.
Thank you, Gene, very much. And thank him for recently banning men from competing in women's sports. That's a big deal. Thank you very much. It's amazing the way I don't hear any applause for that when everyone feels it. It's a 97, don't worry about it, Gene. That's a 97-3. It's not 80-20, it's 97-3. But nobody wants to clap. It's crazy. The United States will not let men steal trophies from women at the 2028 Olympics, so we appreciate the fairness and everything else that you've shown also.
I hope you've noticed that that's a whole lot of politics in sports, overtly, intentionally, with the goal of not only shaping competition, but inputting political ideology in the process. Oh, I'm all for fair play and competition, but that's what a WNBA commissioner is for. That's what a WNBA players union is for. Caitlin Clark has a union rep. She doesn't need the president of the United States or the DOJ intervening. There's a fully capable system and process to handle all and off-court grievances. It's in this thing called the collective bargaining agreement. As for the Olympics, like which is just heard, there's already an IOC, there's a FIBA, and I hate to break it to folks, but the president of the United States doesn't have any sway over how the games will be run in 2028. Zero. Just in case you know anything about sports. The reason I bring all this up is because the NFL season is beginning, and tonight on the TV we had the Raiders and the Seahawks playing on the TV in the studio. And I fully expect the president at some point to have something to say about the NFL and its players. At some point, you can bet on it. At some point. And the NFL players will be asked about this or that going on in the world. They'll be asked about something the president may have said. They will express themselves. Why? Because they are Americans like you and me. The NBA players will have their opportunities to express themselves too. And when they do, I don't want to hear anything about how you don't want politics in sports. You absolutely don't mind it. In fact, you want it, just as long as your politics are the ones being featured and nobody else's. I mean, it could be politics in sports. It could be race and gender. It could be religion. Far too many people today will say that they don't mind if race is brought into any subject, just so long as it's what they already believe about race or black and brown people or trans people or immigration. The president does it every single day if you're paying attention. And those who are okay with it are those who just happen to agree with him. But you don't mind politics in your sports or race on your radio station or religion in your schools, just as long as it reflects what you want and already believe, or the God you pray to, or the gender you date/marry. You don't mind when I talk about trans women not competing with cis women. You don't mind that. You eat that stuff up. You don't mind that stuff about politics and sports mixing. But the moment I mention bananas thrown on the field at black soccer players, it's like, hey, Mo, why do you always make it about race? Don't bring politics into my sports. I got it. I hear you. I read your messages. So as long as you are affirmed, it's okay. You don't mind politics and sports mixing. How do I know? Because I've not heard a single peep about needing to keep politics out of sports since January 20th of 2025. Funny how that seems to work. For KFI AM 640, I'm Mo Kelly.